What's up guys, Meredith with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we are checking out the AWE OFG dual same side exit exhaust system with the bash guard fitting all 2016 through 2023 Toyota Tacomas. Now this option by AWE is going to completely transform the way your 3.5 sounds with a deeper exhaust note, some more volume for your truck, and no drone, making it great for anybody who's daily driving, or if you have a weekend warrior that you take longer trips on, like overlanding or to the trail. This is going to be perfect for you, keeping you comfortable. Now when it comes to the volume level, I am going to give this a 3 out of 5 on the loudness meter, with 1 being stock and 5 being wake the neighbors loud, so it's going to be right in the middle. Not to mention, this will be a great choice if you are taking your Tacoma off-road and are concerned about your departure angles. You don't want to compromise clearance when it comes to an exhaust, because this will include the bash guard to make sure that not only will this stay out of the way, but if it does take a hit, this will survive. The system will feature AWE's resonators with a 180-degree technology to eliminate drone, especially while you're cruising. Basically what it does is works as a straight-through style design, but it has reflectors on the inside that take away those annoying frequencies that you would hear if there was drone. This is also going to have an H-pipe and another straight-through style muffler to refine the sound. Now all of these paired together will give you a smooth and deep tone without raspiness in the higher RPM ranges, and again, a very comfortable interior while you're cruising. Now this is also going to tuck very high and tight to the underbody and stay out of the way to increase your clearance while you're off-road, and it's going to offer that hidden appearance if that clean, no exhaust look is up your alley. Now again, this will come with AWE's signature bash guard. This is going to be on the end of the tailpipes, so if you were to come down on an obstacle or get this banged up, the ends will survive. They're not going to be pinched shut. That is a concern when you are going off-road with your exhaust system. This is not going to allow that. When it comes to the construction, this whole thing will be a dual 2.5-inch modular catback system made of high-quality mandrel bent T304 stainless steel for optimal rust resistance, really honestly lasting the lifetime of your truck. Now the dual 2.5-inch design, in addition to the rest of this exhaust system being mandrel bent, is going to offer seamless and direct airflow and will outflow a single style exhaust system. Now the tips on the end, these bash guards will be a little bit thicker. Again, if you do come down off of an obstacle, these are going to hold their own. These will have a 0.125-inch thick reinforced stainless steel ring on the outer end, and AWE does say that it's literally built for bashing, which is where the name comes from. The system, however, is modular, so if you do want to upgrade the look in the future, AWE does offer tips for the best of both worlds, so you can take your truck off-road, but you can also kind of rock some style when you are not on the trail. With the features and the options that this brings to the table, this will be a more premium choice, coming in at roughly $1,200. You're getting a lot out of the price in the quality of the materials, being some of the most rust resistant, the clearance that this offers, and the tech that creates the refined sound, being a comfortable yet aggressive system for your 3.5. This will also come with options which a lot of systems don't bring to the table. They either have the tips or not, as where this will have the bash guard and the option for tips if you'd like to add them on. So I honestly think if you're willing to spend the extra couple bucks for a system that allows you the choice on what you want to do with it and is going to be a high quality system that will hold up over time, this is going to be it. When it comes to the install, I'm going to give this a 2 out of 3 wrenches, and it should take you around 2 hours to get the job done with some pretty basic hand tools. At this point though, we can head over to our shop and check out a detailed breakdown on the install process, whether you're doing it at home or you are just curious. So that is going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
For this install, you need a 3/8 impact and ratchet, 3/8 extension, a 14 and a 16 millimeter socket, a 1/2 inch extractor socket, a hammer, exhaust hanger tool, and the type of grease. And also not shown here would be a pull jack. All right, today we'll be installing an exhaust on our Tacoma, so let's get started. All right, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our 2 bolts out of our rear flange, and then we'll do our 2 front flanges later. But we're just gonna grab our ratchet and our 14 millimeter socket and take our 2 bolts out. All right, now that our 2 bolts out, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the rear section of our exhaust out. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get an exhaust hanger tool, and we just gotta pull our exhaust out of our 4 hangers. We have 1 up front here, 2 behind the muffler, and then 1 at the tailpipe. All right, we're gonna start with our front one. Gonna pop it out of the hanger. All right, then we have our 2 behind our muffler. All right, and then we have our hanger at our rear bar tailpipe. But just a note, we do have a pull jack under our muffler just to hold everything up, so when you take all the hangers off, it does not fall. All right, and as you can see here, we do have a pull jack holding it up, supporting it so it just doesn't fall. So we're gonna support the weight of the exhaust. Slide our pull jack out of the way. Bring it down and forward over the axle. All right, here we have our 2 front flanges. We have the inside flange here, which is 2 bolts to going through. As you can see, they are very rusted and there's basically no head left. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our extractor socket, hammer that onto the head, and we're probably gonna break the bolts and then have to cut off the back and just reinstall the new system with a nut and a bolt. It's no big deal. We'll get our extractor socket, tap it on. All right, as you see, this one actually came out, so that's good news. All right, do the same thing for the other one. All right, well, it looks like that one came out too. So now all we need to do is just get new bolts, thread into the nuts, and we'll be good to go. All right, now we're gonna go to our other flange and take off our spring bolts. So they are 14 millimeter sockets. So we're gonna grab our ratchet, an extension, and a 14 socket. All right, now that our Y pipe is loosened, we just need to take our exhaust hanger tool, pop it off our hanger here. All right, and then once we have that undone, you can just pull our Y pipe down. All right, now before we start assembling our exhaust onto our truck, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grease up our isolators just to make their install a little bit easier. So just grab our grease, just go around the inside, just to make it slide on a little bit easier. You just do that for the rest of them. All right, we're gonna install our outside flange. Just make sure that you have your factory gasket here. We're just gonna slip it into our hanger first. And then put it over. All right, we're gonna use our supply bolts. This does not reuse the factory springs and bolts. So it's just gonna thread in our new ones here. All right, then we're gonna grab our ratchet with our 14mm socket and tighten them down, going back and forth just to make sure it's gonna be even. You can leave them a little bit loose so we just have a little bit of wiggle room while we're putting everything else on. All right, we can get our other pipe for our other flange up here. Just also make sure that you have this factory gasket in here also. I'm gonna put that up here, and then we're gonna put our 14mm bolts in. All right, just grab your ratchet and snug them up. Don't make them completely tight yet. All right, next we're gonna put our H-pipe on. First, we're gonna get 2 of our clamps. Just slide them over the ends of the pipe. And then we can slide our H-pipe on. You can see the orientation here. The bent one will go towards the inside. And just slide them over for now. All right, next we can put on our muffler section. So we're gonna grab 2 more clamps. All right, so we're just gonna slide our 2 clamps over. All right, then we're gonna put our muffler section on. It's gonna slide over this hanger here and then slide into our H-pipe. All right, and as you can see here, we do have a pole jack supporting the exhaust just to help keep everything level and up. Next, we have our 2 rear mufflers to go on. So we're gonna put our clamps over first, and then we can put our mufflers on. All right, just gonna slide our mufflers over the end. All right, so now we have our pipes after our mufflers, technically our tailpipes. So we are gonna put our clamps over first. All right, then we're gonna grab the shorter of the 2. We're going to put it up in our hanger up here. And then slide it over the end of our muffler. All right, and then do the same thing with the other pipe. All right, now we're gonna tighten our 2 front flanges. Once again, just go back and forth between these 2 bolts just to make sure the pressure is even. All right, then we can tighten these 2, also 14mm. All right, now we're gonna work our way back, tightening our clamps. So once you have them oriented how you want, we're gonna grab our impact and a 16mm socket and tighten them. All right, we have our 2 at the front done, now the 2 at the rear of the H-pipe. All right, now we're gonna move back to our rear mufflers. Just make sure they are oriented right. You will see the drain holes at the bottom here. So we're gonna tighten our front clamp up first. Same thing for the other muffler. Make sure your pipes are seated all the way on the mufflers, and we can tighten our rear clamps. All right, so now we're gonna put our tips on. Put your clamp over the tip, slide it on, adjust it where you want, and then tighten it down with our 16mm socket. All right, and do the same thing for the other one. All right, now wraps it up for our AWE OFG dual exhaust system with bash guard. Same side exit for our 2016 to 2023 3.5 liter Tacoma. And remember, for everything Tacoma, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.